Hey, what's up guys? My name is Kenneth and you're watching Boss Your Money. In today's video, I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know about real estate investing in the UAE. The goal of this video is not to educate you entirely about the real estate investment process, but to give you a brief understanding of how things work around here when it comes to real estate investments and whether or not you should invest in real estate. By the way, if you're new around here or if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, because all I do on this channel is provide you with personal finance tips and tricks, especially if you live in the UAE. And while you're at it, please don't forget to hit the like button, because that really helps me out a lot. Let's get straight into the video. Now, I'm not going to sit and bore you with every single technical aspect when it comes to real estate investing. This video is all about whether or not you should consider investing in the real estate market, right? So I'm going to give you a very simple case study. Here you can see two properties that are listed right now in Dubai for sale for about 440,000 dirhams. The things that you need to take note of from both of these screenshots is that both of these profits cost about 440,000 dirhams. Both of them are just over 1,000 square feet and both of them are located in Dubai. Now moving on to the second set of screenshots, these are two properties that are available for rent with the exact same specifications. Both of them are in Dubai, both of them are just over 1,000 square feet and both of them are rented out for just around 29,000 dirhams per year. Now just a quick disclaimer before we move forward, I am by no means telling you to go and get yourselves these properties that I've just shown. All I've done for this case study is go into one of the property finder websites in Dubai and filter out two-bedroom apartments that are around 1,000 square feet. After that, I just sorted the listing by price lowest to highest. So these listings are basically the cheapest properties available in Dubai for that specific criteria. So what that essentially means is that if you purchase a property for 440,000 dirhams, it is likely that you're going to have a rental yield of 29,000 dirhams per year. Likewise, if you rent a property for 29,000 dirhams, chances are you can purchase that property for 440,000 dirhams approximately. So let's get into the fun part, whether or not you should invest. And here are the numbers. If you invest in a property for 440,000 dirhams, you're going to be paying a monthly installment amount of 1,478 dirhams every single month. Now, if you rent the same property for 29,000 dirhams a year, that equates to 2,416 dirhams every single month. So what does that mean in layman's terms? Simply put, it's going to make you a net profit of 938 dirhams every single month, because all you have to do is subtract the 2,416 dirhams from the 1,478 dirhams and you get a profit of 938. Simple. So 938 dirhams every single month adds up to 11,256 dirhams per year in profit. Now, as I said, this is a simple example for the cheapest available two-bedroom property in Dubai. Now think about this. Instead of buying a 400,000 dirham house, if you invest in a 4.4 million dirham house, you're going to be paying 14k in EMI, but you're going to be paying about 290,000 dirhams for the same house. Or instead of purchasing one house for 440,000 dirhams, you could purchase 10 houses for 440,000 dirhams and the math will remain the same. So what then happens? Your 11,000 dirhams in annual profit becomes 110,000 dirhams in annual profit. So that is about 10,000 dirhams every single month that you're going to be making in profit. Now please don't stop watching the video here and go purchase a house straight away. There is a lot more to it, so stick around. Let's talk a little bit about the total cost that it's going to take for you to actually purchase the house for 440,000 dirhams. You're going to be putting down a down payment of 25%, which is pretty much the minimum requirement for expats in the UAE. 25% of 440,000 is 110,000 dirhams. Plus, you're going to be paying about 25,000 dirhams in fees upfront to the various authorities and so on. On top of all of this, you're also going to be paying about 8,800 dirhams to your agent, which is 2% of the property value. But it doesn't end there. You're going to be paying about 103,000 dirhams just in interest over the course of your mortgage. All of this brings the total value of your 440,000 dirham apartment about 587,000 dirhams. Now I'm sure you're thinking that this is an absolute waste of an investment and you should stay clear of real estate investments in UAE. But hang on, because there is more. Your total cost to purchase this two-bedroom house over a course of 25 years, because that's how long the mortgage is 587 dirhams. But what if you spend 29,000 dirhams renting a 2-bedroom house for 25 years? How much is that going to cost you? 29,000 dirhams into 25 years is actually 725,000 dirhams. You would have spent over 725,000 dirhams renting that same house that you could have owned for 587,000 dirhams. But not only that, here's the kicker. At the end of 25 years, if you had rented the property, you're not going to see a dime of that 725,000 dirhams that you spent on it. But if you buy a house, even if the value of the house goes down, you're still going to be making some of that money back. So really, there is no downside to purchasing a property, is there? But then there is a downside. And the downside is that there are some very important key points that you need to keep in mind before you jump in and purchase a house. The first point is definitely going to be the upfront cost. You're going to have to put down that 110,000 dirhams along with those additional costs that it takes to purchase a house. You're going to be shelling out 4% of the property value to the land department for registering the property. You're going to be paying 2% to the agent, and you're going to be paying NOC fees and a couple of other fees at the time of purchasing the property. So that means you need to have about 30% of the property value cash in hand before you can even think about purchasing that particular property. The second thing is that banks need not necessarily approve all of your mortgage requests. There are a lot of different criteria that they go through. KYC checks, your salary, the company you work for, so on and so forth. So you need to be in a position where you can actually get approved for that mortgage. The next very important thing that you need to consider before you purchase is how long are you going to live in the UAE? How long are you planning to stay back in the UAE before you go to your home country if you're an expat in the UAE? Of course, the requirements are slightly different if you are a UAE national. But if you are an expat, are you planning to stay here for a long time? Because if you purchase a house for the short term, if you're planning to buy a house for 1 year or 2 years, it is likely that you're going to lose a lot of money between the interests, the bank closure fees, and the short-term fluctuation in the valuation of your home. So keep that in mind if you are not planning to stay here for the long time. The next point to consider is whether you can actually sustain paying that long-term mortgage on your house. As I said, we are talking about 25 years. So if you don't have a stable job, if you think that you might lose your job in the near future, if you think that there could be any factor that would convert your long-term plans into a short-term plan, then that is a very significant thing to keep in mind before you jump in and purchase some property in the UAE. Another point is that if you do have the funds to invest in a property in the UAE, do you also have some backup emergency funds that is sufficient to help you survive in a bad situation? Everyone has emergencies, everyone has short-term need of funds. So keep that in mind and make sure that you have additional funds so that you don't have to sell your property to fund that short-term requirement. Of course, as a property owner, you know that there is going to be a lot of risk involved as well, in the sense that if you need to move tomorrow, you can just leave your rented house and move. But it's a little bit more complicated when the actual house is owned by you. There's a lot of paperwork involved that you need to consider. And the last thing that you need to consider is that if you have to move in that 25-year period, are you willing to be a property owner here in the UAE while you live elsewhere? If all of these issues can be addressed by you, and if all of these issues don't bother you, then by all means do your research and then jump in and purchase a house for yourself. If you found any value from this video at all, please don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends if they are interested in purchasing a property, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new to this channel. Now, if you'd like to know a little bit more about where you can stash away those emergency funds that I talked about, check out this video. If you want to learn a little bit more about how you can budget and plan for all of this stuff, check out this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.